Hi, leaders. Good afternoon. This is Tinyiko Motileni, your leadership specialist for women who are working or leading in the male-dominated industries. So today we're going to talk about the 2 words that you must never say those words when you are starting in the male-dominated industries. If you are a female leader, please refrain from saying those 2 words, okay? So we are talking about establishing your identity as a female leader in the male-dominated industries. So it is very, very important for you to be your own person, for you to make sure that you bring out your best so that employees doesn't discredit you. Employees have got a very, very good way of discrediting you, especially when you are a female, in the male-dominated industries. So those 2 words are the boss says, or the boss said. It's 3 words, in fact. The boss says, or the boss said. Do not say those words, okay? So please, before I carry on, please subscribe on my videos and like the video, please. So when I started in the male-dominated industries, I used to take instructions from the boss and go to the employees and say, the boss said you might do this and this and this and this and this. That was a very big mistake, guys. A very, very big mistake. Because first of all, when you go to your subordinate and said your boss says they must do something, it means you are not in position to tell them that they must do something. Okay? It is a problem. It's a very big problem. And I know sometimes when you don't have ways to convince them or to manipulate them to do something, you end up saying the boss says you must do this and this and this, but do not put yourself into that position. Don't get to that position whereby you are unable to lead them on your own without, the boss's shadow. You understand? If I can say that, okay? Find a way to establish your identity and do not go to them all the time and say the boss says. What that end up doing is that they end up respecting your boss and they don't respect you because they feel like you don't have a backbone to tell them to do something. You come back to them all the time and say the boss said. You understand? So it's very important to refrain from those 3 words. Do not go to them and say the boss said. And you will find yourself into a position whereby you do not agree with what your boss is saying. I found myself in so many instances whereby I would not agree with what he wants to do things, but I've learned that I need to deal with that situation with him before I can go to the employees. Okay, so I would deal with the situation. I would convince him. We would talk over that challenge. We would come up with a solution, that suits me and him. You understand? Before I can go to the workers, because then if I go to the workers and say my boss said you must do this and this, that means I'm not in that equation. I do not agree with what he's doing. It's either I don't agree with what he says, or I don't have the backbone to give my subordinate instructions. Okay, so that's how it looks in front of your subordinate, especially when you are a female. Hey, because there is this notion that when you are a female leader in the male-dominated industries, you will always listen to what your boss is saying. You don't have the capacity to be your own boss. You need to be your own person, to be the leader that is needed in that environment. It is a narrative, it's an old narrative of women leadership in the male-dominated industries. So you mustn't fall into that trap whereby you always take instructions and just give them to your subordinate without analyzing and making sure that what is your input in that instruction. And then you can go confidently to your subordinate and say, guys, I want you to do this and this and this and this because of this and this and this and this, and the result will be this and this and this and this. You understand? Then you are including yourself into that process of giving instructions. Okay, you are included in that process, and in that way it brings you about respect from your subordinates, that you are a leader and you are a self-led person who can give instructions and make sure that she follow up on that instructions and the instructions are done as required. Okay, so it is an important fact not to important words that you mustn't say when you are starting in your position as a female leader in the male dominated industries, because employees are going to discredit you guys. They are going to discredit you, and they will always make sure that they respect your boss and they don't respect you. Okay, so thank you so much. I just wanted to say that in the next video, I'm going to also talk about more things that you can do in order for you not to have employees discrediting you as a female leader in the male dominated industries. So please don't forget to subscribe to my video, and do not forget to give me a like, and so that other female leaders or female entrance leaders can be able to see the information and do not repeat the same mistakes that I did before. Thank you very much. Bye bye. See you in the next video.